Hey everyone, my name's Peter. Welcome to my Game Week 11 transfer targets video. I'll take a look at some of the most popular transfers in and out this week and discuss whether they are good or bad moves to be making. As always, please do hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Now let's get into it. So Chris Wood is the most popular transfer in this week with over 300,000 new owners. He just can't stop scoring at the moment. What a season he's having. My decision to transfer him out ahead of Game Week 7 instead of Calvert-Lewin is by far my biggest regret of the season. 5 goals in 4 games make him the highest scoring player in the game over that time. His expected goals of 0.5 per 90 minutes is excellent, and he's even outperforming that. Okay, so he had a little bit of fortune with some poor goalkeeping and really bad defending for 2 of those goals, but he's also looked clinical at times, and Forest do play to his strengths. They're a team who put a lot of crosses into the box for him to attack, and his goal against West Ham was a classic Wood header. However, I don't personally recommend the Wood transfer in this week. With Forest, you've missed the good fixture run now, and the trickier games are just starting. Despite Ipswich in Game Week 13 being about as good as it gets, the rest of the fixtures are against much tougher opposition than the likes of Palace, Leicester and West Ham who they've faced in the last 3 weeks. I spoke yesterday about not expecting many clean sheets from the Forest defence during this run, but I'm also expecting a drop-off from their attack as well. They have Arsenal and Manchester City away in the next 5, and although we've seen that Forest can compete against these teams this season, they aren't going to go there and score a lot of goals. Newcastle at home isn't easy, and neither is Manchester United away in Week 15. This isn't an opportune time to buy him. There are far better options out there right now, like Wolves strikers Cunha and Strand Larsen, and in my opinion, Rasmus Højlund and Raul Jimenez of Fulham too. It's just a poor transfer to be making this week. Let's take a look at some of those options I think could do better. Wolves are just starting a great run of fixtures, and they have 2 strikers in Matheus Cunha and Jorgen Strand Larsen who could be great assets to any FPL team over the next 7 weeks. Cunha is the more popular of the 2 and has 100,000 transfers in so far this week. For 6.6 million, his expected goals and assists are looking good, and he appears to have an air of confidence in front of goal at the moment. He's creative too, and got an assist against Palace last week with a lovely outside of the boot pass to set up Strand Larsen. He plays 90 minutes pretty much every week, and he may well be on penalties, which is always great for any FPL player. Sarabia has taken them in the past, and may be ahead of him in the pecking order, but Sarabia isn't getting much game time at the moment. He may have started the last match, but it wasn't until after he was replaced that Wolves scored both their goals, and that probably doesn't bode particularly well for him starting the next one. Now, I know on the FPL website it looks like a sea of green for the upcoming Wolves fixtures, but to me, a green fixture is one I'd really expect them to win. I view most of the next games as good fixtures that Wolves can win, but it's only Southampton at the beginning and the other promoted sides, Ipswich and Leicester, at the end of that run that I feel confident they probably will. In between, we have Fulham, who are having a great season and will be very confident of taking all 3 points against Wolves. Bournemouth have looked good at home. They have struggled away a little, so maybe Wolves will look at that as a game they have a chance of winning. Everton have been looking much stronger recently, especially in defence, and were very unlucky not to win away at Southampton in Week 10. A trip to Goodison won't be easy. Then it's West Ham, who have won their last 2 home matches against Ipswich and Man United, and will also be expecting to win this one. So, are Wolves going to get a load of points here? I'm not totally convinced, but it'll be a dramatic improvement on how they've done so far this season. They are an attacking team though, who do look capable of scoring in most games, and Cunha feels like their main threat. He's got 3 goals in his last 5 games, despite Wolves not winning any. That's a great record. If he can grab another 4 or 5 in the next 7, that's a good return for 6.6 million. Strand Larsen is the cheaper alternative in the Wolves front line at only 5.6 million, and of the 2, he was the one who scored in their last game. You can see his expected goals and assists this season don't match up to Cunha's though, and he's more at risk of being taken off when Wolves make substitutions. However, they've both scored 4 times this season, and the saving of 1.1 million may well mean he fits into your team structure more easily. I feel like Cunha offers the greater threat, and my preference is towards him, but that's just the stats and potential penalties talking. I still really like Strand Larsen as an option, and I may end up going for him over Cunha on my wildcard this week, as the 1 million saving really benefits me in other areas of the team. If you're looking to get either of them in, it has to be this week though. Southampton at home is probably the best fixture of the entire run. You really need them straight away. When that match is past, it just won't feel like quite such a good transfer to make, as you've missed out on the best point scoring opportunity of the next 5 weeks. I also really like the look of Rasmus Højlund this week if you're looking for a striker to bring in. After starting the season injured, he's worked his way back to full fitness and has started the last 4 matches, getting a goal and an assist in that time. His expected stats aren't amazing yet, only 0.23 expected goals per 90 minutes, but the next 3 fixtures are just so good for United. Leicester and Everton at home, sandwiching Ipswich away. If you're going to get the classic new manager bounce, then these are the fixtures to really make it happen. Ruben Amorim's taking over in week 12, and all the players will presumably be fighting hard to prove they're worth a place in his first 11, so they could go out and get a hatful of goals in any of these matches. I'm really optimistic about United having a lot of success in the next 3 weeks, and if they do, Højlund is bound to do very well. And so much is my confidence, he's not the only attacker that I'm interested in this week. Bruno Fernandes is now down to 8.2 million, and he's finally started to find his scoring boots. He had a great night in the Carabao Cup last week, scoring twice as United thrashed Leicester 5-2, and he tucked away the penalty confidently against Chelsea in game week 10. He's coming into form at just the right time this season. His expected goals are 0.4 per 90 minutes, and his expected assists are 0.19, which is excellent for any midfielder. And he's been significantly unlucky not to have had more attacking returns. In previous years, his returns have consistently matched his expected stats, so at some point you'd expect luck to turn in his favour. He really hasn't had much this season at all so far. But after the penalty against Chelsea, maybe that's starting to change, and it's the perfect time for FPL managers too, with 3 great fixtures coming up right now. He's playing against 2 of the teams who concede the most chances in the league next. Leicester and Ipswich have been punished repeatedly this season due to poor defending, and it will be United's turn to take advantage of them next. Then it's Everton, who have improved recently, but that's by no means a bad fixture for Fernandes. It's exactly the kind of run a team can turn their fortunes around with. And United have enough options up front to cause any team problems. Fernandes, Garnacho, Rashford and Højlund have all shown real quality in attacking areas in the past. They are this season's biggest XG underperformers, scoring only 9 goals from 16.76 expected. Those kind of figures are bound to even up as the season progresses, and so Fernandes is right at the top of my list of transfers to make in this week. Alejandro Garnacho is also very much worthy of a quick mention, being United's highest point-scoring midfielder this season, despite playing very few minutes over the first 4 weeks. He's now regularly getting the full 90 minutes, unsurprisingly, as he looks to be United's biggest threat in wide areas. He's actually been a little unlucky in front of goal this season, hitting the woodwork 3 times, more than any other player in the league. But he has scored 2 goals and got 1 assist already, and he's definitely United's preferred option on the wing at the moment. Even if Ruben Amorim looks to move to a back 3, you'd still expect Garnacho to get a place in that team. He's just starting to look like the player who finished last season so well. At only 6.3 million, having dropped 0.2 since the start of the season, he's a pretty cheap option who could score very well over the next 3 games. He doesn't have penalties, hence my preference for Fernandes, but if the saving of 2 million makes him easier to fit into your squads, then I'd absolutely go for him instead. That's all for now. I hope you found this video helpful, and as always, please hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and see you for the next one.